Okay, where's my...
You got your picks together? Everything's...
Oh, no. But I'll have them by the time we get there.
Okay.
What did I go? 1 and 2, and you went 0 and 3.
I went 0 and 3 for the first time this season.
Mm-hmm. But not the last.
I'll try and speak this stuff into fruition there.
Oh, hey. Just,
Don't wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
But how bad? I almost got 3 points because I almost got the underdog. And then, who was it? The Nats that fell apart, or the Nats came all the way back?
Yeah, the A's fell apart.
The A's fell apart. Yeah.
Do you guys like what I wrote? Baseball brunch after dark.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh yeah. Take the Bud Light down. Quimby said it's no longer Bud Light Baseball Brunch. So.
All right. I'm popping out, and then you guys can start whenever you're ready.
Sounds good. Looks like we got some traction in here. All right. All right, you ready to rock?
I am ready to rock.
All right. Let's rumba. Good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome into Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, powered by Green Legion Radio 102.5, Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia, WDAS-AM around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or just simply download that iHeartRadio app and you can listen to us anywhere crystal clear worldwide. We are broadcasting to you live on Saturday evening for Sunday's show. I am sitting inside my house while Murph is inside of his hotel room in Washington, D.C., as he prepares to fly out of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, as far as Gump would say, early Sunday morning. So, you guys will get all the perks and the benefits that you normally would from a baseball brunch show with us, especially because it was so kind that the Phillies were playing at 4 o'clock on Saturday that we were able to get a full week's worth of Phillies baseball with you guys. I'm Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio, and Murph, my partner in crime, Phillies broadcaster Greg Murphy. Murph, how are you doing today?
Well, after tonight's game or this afternoon's game, much better than I was doing after Friday's game. Friday's game was a bit of a kick in the gut because, they had the 6-1 lead. They looked like they were going to cruise to an easy victory. They did not, giving it right back in that fourth inning. But it was really good to see, although it took a little bit of time today to get the bats going. And give credit to the Nats starting pitcher, Jake Irvin. He was really good this afternoon. But once the bats got going, they got going in a big way. 5 home runs in this one. Trey Turner made a little history. Nick Castellanos with one huge swing of the bat on the day that he became a 10-year major league service guy. So, a big day for him in that regard. It was a great day. Phil leaving up the series. And so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you saying that you were feeling a lot better today, but really it was once the 7th inning hit and the Castellanos hit that home run, which is funny because it's the 3-year anniversary since he hit the home run when Tom Brenneman was in the middle of getting fired in Cincinnati. So it was the 3-year anniversary today. And there's a home run by Castellanos into left field, and it's 4-0 Reds.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff for today. We're going to dive into that. It actually, perks my mood up a little bit, and we're going to have some fun at my expense because, as we know, Murph, I am not just, a member of the media to some extent here on Green Legion Radio and doing baseball brunch with you these last few years. I am a pretty emotional fan. And, we're going to dive down to some of my antics this afternoon prior to the 7th and 8th inning.
Oh boy.
But first things first, this segment is brought to you by our good friends at State Farm. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you can save an average of $889. State Farm agent Dave Bavuso is ready to help you combine home and auto in South Jersey and Pennsylvania. Call Dave today at 856-740-5012. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Again, you can reach them at 856-740-5012. Average annual per household savings are based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Being that we are recording on Saturday evening for our Sunday show, we are not going to do a ticket giveaway today, but we will give away another pair of tickets on next week's show when we're back down at Xfinity Live ahead of the Phillies and Cardinals on Sunday afternoon. So make sure you guys stop on down. I'm not sure if it's going to be our last show at Xfinity Live for the season. I am trying to work on some things because being that the Eagles season, they play a lot of primetime games in the early part of the schedule. I'm going to try and keep our same time slot until the very beginning of October, if that's possible. So I am working on that with Sean Brace, Kyle Nunamaker, and Kyle, the Magic Man Nunamaker, and the hardest working man in show business, John Jansen. So I'll keep you guys all informed. Hopefully we'll have some news for you guys on that effective next week. All right, Murph, let's get out of the box early on here in the show. Let's talk about this Phillies week that was 2-3 since our last show. But hey, listen, they got their second win in comeback fashion on Saturday afternoon with a huge offensive explosion against the Nationals bullpen in the 7th and 8th innings. Trey Turner, as you said, made history today, becoming the third player in franchise history to homer twice in the same inning. First to do so since Von Hayes against the Mets in June of 1985, and Andy Semenick did it first against the Reds in June of 1949. Offenses put up runs over the course of the last 3 games here, Murph. But man, it was much needed today. Staring down the barrel of the gun, 3-0 after 6 innings. And, you're sitting there going, man, we need to make something happen here because you can ill afford to lose a series to the Washington Nationals, who have played better over the second half of this baseball season. But when you have aspirations as the defending National League champions, as the Phillies are, you can ill afford to lose a series to a team the caliber of the Washington Nationals this late in the season.
Yeah, you're right about that. And you're right about all of that, in that the Washington Nationals have played much better baseball. They have the 3rd best record in the National League since the All-Star break. But, the Phillies are a better team than the Washington Nationals are, and they need to take advantage of that when playing against the Nats. And again, it all comes down to winning series. So they lose game 1, which makes winning a series a little bit more challenging. You got to go out and win the next 2 to win the series. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a relatively positive guy for the most part, and I'm always thinking optimistically. Yeah, but I will tell you that in the 6th inning, I was not feeling all that great about the Phillies and their chances of winning tonight's game or Saturday night's game. And, I found myself saying, oh, God, we're going to lose 2. And now we got to go to Williamsport tomorrow, and you got to win that game. And who knows what that atmosphere is going to be like. And, blah, blah, and then boom, 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 a couple swings of the bat, and then big smile on the face. And I'm like, see, if I would have just stayed optimistic, if I would have just stayed positive, I'd have been feeling really good.
No. Murph, it's okay. Listen, you have to go to the dark side every now and then, because I feel like not when you personally do it, but when I do it, when I walk that path of darkness, I feel like good things happen because of it.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I never feel that way. I feel like I need a shower. So, I like being happy and positive and pointing out the optimism and the optimistic side of things. So, but every once in a while, you can't help it. You slide into the sack. You slide it back into a Chris Sackism.
Right into the crass.
And I was there today in the 6th inning, but by the 7th, I was smiling.
Listen, nothing ever really good happens when you hit send on social media. But at the same time, listen, sometimes I have to post these things out there because I always feel like someone in the dugout sees it for some reason, and they go, what? There's Sack again. Well, like Kirk Cousins, for example. Anytime I trash that man on social media, he winds up going off. So, and there's plenty of other examples throughout the course of history, but a lot of people will say Kirk Cousins does well when I pop off on him.
All right, but let me stop you, because if Kirk Cousins did well every time he read something negative about himself on social media, he would be a Hall of Famer, first ballot undefeated quarterback in the NFL.
But it's not everybody. It's just me. It's just me. So here's my Facebook status as you're starting to wander down that path of darkness. No. This team sucks right now. No urgency whatsoever. Playing all of these crappy teams, I'll say it like that, over the last couple of weeks, and everything has been a struggle. They're lucky the other teams in the wild card race have been struggling too. Losing a series in the Nationals is unacceptable. Then Nick Castellanos decides to join the party and hits a 3-run home run. So I'm sitting there on the couch and I go to my wife and I say, and I posted this on Facebook, Cassie just hit a 3-run homer to tie the game. As my wife turns around in the chair at the dinner table, because she's sitting there with Carson at the dinner table, and she looks at me with the most serious look on her face. You need to start posting negative things earlier because she knows me all too well. And when the game is over, I said, Phillies fans, you are all welcome. Because, when I go down that path of darkness and negativity, it just seems to get the team going a little bit more, and gives them a little bit more fervor, a little bit more motivation. Because Murph, listen, it's been a fun season, and like we've had a lot of great Sunday shows, a lot of fun this season, a lot of great things to talk about, and all coming off the legs of a World Series appearance and coming within 2 wins of winning it all. It's been a great last calendar year if you're a Phillies fan. But yes, but man, like if they could just find a way to press that magic button, flip that magic switch that we need, like. We could make this wild card race irrelevant for us and just let the other 5 teams duke it out. And that's kind of where I'm at.
No, go ahead. And they might. They're getting to the point where that they're getting kind of close to that point. They'd have to go on a run of 5 of 6 or something like that. But if they do that, they're going to put so much distance between themselves that there's not going to be much question about the wild card. They're the only team in the National League that can say that. So stop to think about it. You have 3 division leaders, one of which does not have as good of a record as the Phillies, and you have 2 teams in the National League that lay claim to being the top 2 teams, and that is the Braves and the Dodgers. They're the 2 best teams in the National League.
It's been that way for half a decade.
And it has.
Right.
And so you can't argue that. You tip your cap to those teams, but that also doesn't mean much when you hit the postseason. We know that as well.
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So here the Phillies are in a almost catbird seat in terms of the wild card. They're not there yet. I agree that they need to, add 2 or 3 more games of separation before you can really kind of, take a breath and sit back. But remember, we went through the final road trip of the year last year before they clinched. I have a feeling we're not going to be sitting on the edge of our seats this year. So other teams have flaws. Almost every team has flaws. And, perhaps the Braves do not. But short of that, even the Dodgers have flaws. And the Phillies have flaws, but they're winning more than they're losing, and that's what you've got to do in baseball.
Yeah, it's just for me, like especially like you could not afford to lose this series with the Giants with the Giants coming into town, especially. Like on the legs of it all. I mean, like last week you were staring down the possibility you were 6-2 on a 10-game homestand. You were staring down the fact that you could have finished 7-3, 8-2 on that homestand, and like there was a lot of great things that happened on that homestand. I mean, a lot of memorable moments, a lot of fun games, but man. It was like, that's a kick in the, in the junk, in the gut, whatever it is, to finish that homestand at 6-4. And then you had that game on Tuesday night where, great play at home plate, Bohm gets the runner out with bases loaded and JT makes that great lunge for the ball. And the very next pitch, Sir Anthony hits Biggio on the toe and it drives in the winning run. And, look, they've scored runs their last 3 games. That's the period, especially against Kevin Gausman. I was worried about that on Wednesday night because Gausman kills the Phillies, and the Phillies just did everything in their power to make sure that hey, we're down, we're coming back. We're down again, we're coming back, and we're just going to keep on tagging on. And this is the type of team, resiliency is what this team has shown us, not just during the course of games, but throughout the course of the season. And like Murph, that last week, the last couple weeks. There's been moments where you feel down, but there's been moments where they pick you right back up. And knowing that you have a shot to win this series tomorrow night with Zach Wheeler on the hill, that's the ultimate pickup.
Yeah, and again, they might lose this series. They could lose tomorrow and lose this series, and that would be disappointing for sure. But it's also not going to end their season, and I think that's how you have to look at it. You and I talked last week, and I thought you brought up a great point. There was at that point 44 games to play, and you said if they go 25-19, it gets them to 90 wins, 3 better than last year. So when you stop to think about that, and I might have said this last week, that's 19 losses that we can expect over the course of the next 5 weeks, right? And we've seen 4 of them this week. So they're going to lose 15 more times in your scenario and still have 90 wins when it's all said and done. So, baseball's not football. Baseball teams lose 60 games a year, the best teams. And then it's a matter of what you do from there. So you just have to take them a little bit less seriously. Now, should they win the series against the Nationals, especially with Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow? They absolutely should. And I hope they do. And I think they will. But if they don't, the Giants could come to town and you could, beat them 3 straight and all's right with the world again.
Now, Murph, heading into that series against the Giants now, and the reason why Zach Wheeler is pitching on Sunday Night Baseball is because Ranger Suarez has gone on to the injured list with a grade 1 mild strain of his hamstring, which, listen, they made the move for Michael Lorenzen. They've been pitching with a 6-man rotation, but we've seen some, dents in the armor here of the Phillies starting pitching coming to fruition over the last week or two. Aaron Nola's struggles this season have been well documented. Taijuan Walker, they had to skip him in the rotation because his velocity was down. Rangers now on the injured list. And then on top of that, Michael Lorenzen got ripped up in his first start after the no-hitter after throwing 124 pitches. You're starting to see a little bit of wear and tear here, dog days of summer and August with the starting pitching staff. Out of those guys, which one are you worried about the most heading down the stretch run?
Well, I mean, I'm not worried about any of them. To be quite honest with you, the fact that they have a little bit of depth right now is obviously a positive thing with Ranger going on the injured list. But I talked to Rob Thompson today, and he said, look, it's mild. But they could use that extra arm in the bullpen. So by putting him on the injured list, they're able to bring up Andrew Bellotti, who got in today's game. And, it's
Murph,
just
how long
having a guy.
Did you guys ask Topper how long Ranger's been pitching with this? Like, has this been the reason why he's been struggling?
It happened in Toronto.
Okay.
It happened in Toronto while he was working out. And they said he got into the shower and his hamstring started to tighten up on him. He was uncomfortable. It was stiff. He told the trainers about it. They took a day. Next day, still an issue. So they did some imaging, and it turns out to be the grade 1. And I think the original plan was not to put him on the injured list, but taking up a spot when you're not 100% sure the guy is going to be able to come back in 5 days is a little bit of a risk. So because they have the depth, you put Ranger on the injured list. You allow him to sit for 10 days. I'm sure at some point he'll get up and throw if he's feeling good. But they really do expect that he'll come off, at that 10-day period. So it's not a huge concern by any stretch. It's a little disappointing. I think he had started to find his way a little bit. But again, ultimately in the long run, this is going to be a 10-day rest for his arm as well as we head down the stretch. And that's really never, not never a bad thing, but rarely a bad thing for a starting pitcher, especially one that you want to pitch deep into October. So
what's the rotation looking like?
The other guys.
No, what's the rotation looking like for the Giants series?
Yeah, so
it's a very important series for us. I want to make sure that we're trotting out the best that we can. Yeah. Obviously, Wheeler going tomorrow doesn't help that.
Well, it's going to be Nola on Monday. It'll be Taijuan on Tuesday.
Okay.
And so Taijuan will be back on Tuesday. And then I guess I'm just trying to project now. It would be Lorenzen on Wednesday.
Lorenzen.
Yeah. So, 3 guys that you feel pretty comfortable, going out to the mound and getting you a win for the most part. I would think you would anyway. So hopefully those guys pitch up to where they need to be. And I think Zach Wheeler going tomorrow in that atmosphere, I think that's going to be great for Zach. And, Zach had kind of come out and said he kind of feels more comfortable when he's pitching on that regular rest, that 4-day rest every 5 days kind of thing. So it'll be 5 days for him, and he'll get back out there. So we'll see how he handles that. But hopefully Zach is in typical Zach Wheeler form tomorrow.
Real quick before we go to break, it looks like we have some troops that are on their way back here. From what they said earlier on today, it looks like Brandon Marsh is going to rejoin the team in Williamsport for Sunday Night Baseball, and then we're going to get Jose Alvarado back in that bullpen starting on Monday against the Giants. 2 huge additions back to this roster, very important to both the lineup and the bullpen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So yeah, Brandon Marsh will be in Williamsport tomorrow, and he is expected to be activated. There's no reason to think he wouldn't be activated when he gets there. The Phillies actually get to add an extra player. Both teams get to add an extra player tomorrow, kind of like the doubleheader rule. For whatever reason, I don't know what the reasoning is. So they won't actually have to do anything other than activate Brandon Marsh tomorrow and add him back to the roster. Now, a move will have to follow in the ensuing week on Monday. And then obviously when Alvarado gets added, they'll have to make a move as well. But you're right. Getting Jose Alvarado back healthy at this point of the season is just enormous in the back end of that bullpen. And I think Brandon Marsh, the energy that he adds in the clubhouse, in the dugout, on the field, is always a positive. So, Johan Rojas has been terrific. I mean, really, he made an error on Friday night. The kind of thing's going to happen from time to time. But for the most part, he's been terrific. And he's still going to be a big part of what they're trying to do, I would imagine. But getting Brandon Marsh back is big.
No doubt about it. Don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jameson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Epic game day experiences are at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk some more Phillies baseball and a little bit about this Little League Classic that's going to go on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. And we're going to go around the league because there's some stuff that has happened over the course of the last week or two that we need to dive into right here on Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We'll be right back after this. Sam,
let me ask you a gambling question. So I'm looking at normally I do ESPN, but I'm looking at DraftKings because ESPNs weren't updated yet. So a team is like the Tigers are -1.5, but plus 160. That means they're the underdog, plus 160.
Yes.
-1.5 means they're getting a run and a half added to their if you bet on them.
Yeah, if you are plus 1.5, you're the underdog because you're being given a run. So it's
well, that's what I'm asking. So so that's weird. Okay,
is that what?
I forget it. I see. I'm looking in the same column. I should be looking across.
Yeah, the favorites would be -1.5. So like if you bet on that, you'll get more because they won by more than one run.
Yeah. That's what I thought, but I'm looking at this little square and it says Detroit Tigers -1.5 plus 160 right underneath it, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But that just must be how much money you would win if you bet $100.
Let's see here. And this is for tomorrow's game.
Yeah. So look at the list.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're talking about the same box. So it's -1.5, but they're plus 160. So if they win by 2,
what does that mean?
All right. So if they win by 2, if they win the game 2-0 or 4-2 or 6-2, whatever it is, if the 2 or more runs, and you put $100 down for them to win by 2 or more runs, you'll win $160.
$160.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's the third column that I should be looking at in terms of favorites and
money line.
Yeah. Got it.
That's how we gamble here on Baseball Brunch.
I told you. I don't. All right, I'm cool.
Don't get out of our league here.
Right. All right. Good stuff.
Sammy, you ready? Welcome back. Second segment here on Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, and we are brought to you by Premier Window Cleaning. They are the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience. They offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check at Premier Window Cleaning. Your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of their services, give them a call, 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to their website, wehatedirtywindows.com. That's wehatedirtywindows.com. All right, Murph. So we talked a little bit about the injuries here. So I just wanted to get like a quick update. I know you already said that Andrew Bellotti is back with the team, and it just had me wondering over the course of the last week. We've demoted back down to AAA Junior Marte, and now with Ranger going on the injured list, we bring back Andrew Bellotti. I know you do the minor league report during the course of the week on the pregame show. How's Connor Brogdon doing down there? Because he has not been an option as far as coming back up to be a member of this bullpen, and he was pretty crucial for the Phillies down the stretch last year.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't really know. I haven't really dove into Connor Brogdon's numbers any time in the recent past. So I'd be just spitballing if I told you differently. But it's interesting that you even bring that up, because you're right. He hasn't been a guy that has been talked about when these guys are being shuttled back and forth. I have not heard his name being bannered about. Not that maybe I would, but I haven't over the last couple of weeks. So I would have to go look at his numbers. I don't know what they are exactly, but I think it speaks volumes. The lack of conversation with Connor Brogdon's name in it probably tells you all you need to know right now.
Well, that's your homework for the week, so maybe you'll have it for next week's show.
Right.
Or maybe I can just go on Google and figure it out myself. But I figured, hey,
well, we can probably do that too.
Well, while we're talking, might as well see if he's around. But hey, listen, we've talked about this a little bit here during the first segment, now into the second segment. But man, what is on deck for the players and the broadcasters? And there's a reason why that we're doing this on Saturday night. We're recording the show for our regular time slot from 11 to noon on Sunday. You're going to be on a plane tomorrow. You guys are flying out of Williamsport at 10 o'clock. It's about an hour flight from Williamsport from Washington, D.C. to Williamsport. For you guys to go up there for the Sunday night baseball game. It's called the Little League Classic on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN at 7 p.m. But I'll tell you what, Murph, I really love enjoying, and you're a father of three. I'm a father of two. I have two little kids, and I see this with a lot of these players like Bryce Harper and JT, Nick Castellanos. Like, these guys are great dads, and they're great dudes, and they love their kids, but also at the same time how they interact with other kids. I'm really looking forward to seeing this stuff throughout the day. But what's kind of like the schedule like once you guys get into Williamsport and your interaction with the other teams, the international players, the U.S. players? I think media is playing at 11 o'clock tomorrow, so it's a shame they might not be able to see the players until after their game. But what's kind of the schedule like for the players and for the media like tomorrow leading up to Sunday Night Baseball?
Yeah, well, first off, let me just tell you, so we had Nick Castellanos on the postgame show tonight and after Saturday night's game. And the last question that we asked was, are you excited to head up to Williamsport and be a part of what's going to be going on up there tomorrow? And he said, yeah, I got to be honest with you, interacting with kids is so much better than interacting with adults. And and I just thought that was as honest and as great of an answer that you could give. And you're right. We see Nick with his son Liam at the ballpark all the time, and these guys genuinely do enjoy interacting with their own kids and the kids of other people as well. So it should be a lot of fun. I think we hit the ground around noon tomorrow, and there are two buses. One will take the players and anyone else that wants to go to the Little League Village there. So the players will head to the Village for sure, and then the rest of us kind of make a decision, go to the place where they're going to play the big league game, which is about a mile away, or head to the Village. I'm going to go to the Village as well, just to take in all the goings on. It's going to be mobbed over there, I would imagine. but both teams will have interaction with the other teams that aren't playing. At that point, a lot of pictures and autographs, and I'm sure some playing of catch and doing all that kind of stuff. Some media availability, I would imagine, for both the young guys and the major league players. So that'll happen until I think about 3:00. So it's a couple hours over there at the Village, and then on a bus back to the big league ballpark. And then it becomes business as usual for the guys. Normally about 3:00 is when they start to get their work going at home or on the road. And that's exactly what they'll do tomorrow. They'll take BP, they'll go through their infield drills, they'll do everything they need to do. And, and first pitch at 7:00. So, but the morning, or I should say the early afternoon part of the day is when all of the good feels are happening and the players are interacting with the little leaguers. And I think that, I think it's fun for everybody. I think that our guys are really going to enjoy it. I know they did the last time they were there, and obviously the little leaguers are going to enjoy it as well, getting a chance to rub elbows with the big leaguers. So it should be a fun event for sure.
So let's dive into a little bit of around the league here. So now the Phillies are under 40 games. I'm assuming that pretty much all the other teams are under 40 games or right at 40 games left to play in this season. Outside of the National League wild card race, Murph, what race is most intriguing to you in baseball? Divisional race, the American League wild card race? What sticks out to you as something that is going to intrigue you the last 7 weeks of the season?
That's a great question. I think I would say it's the American League wild card. I know the Central, the National League Central is obviously tight, and there's a lot to still play for between the Reds and the Brewers. But the wild card in the American League is so interesting because, here you have a group of teams, I think you could say that not a whole lot of people thought, I don't think a whole lot of people thought the Yankees were going to be missing from that mix. And they pretty much are missing from the mix. I mean, they're there, but they're in the rearview mirror. But you have a team like Houston who's battling for a wild card spot right now, right? I mean, I don't think most people would have thought that. And then you have the Seattle Mariners, Toronto, a team that I thought was going to be right there in the mix for maybe a division title in the American League East. They're battling for a wild card spot. And then you have the Red Sox, not too far away. They played some pretty good baseball of late. So it's really intriguing to see how that's all going to work out. And some of those divisional titles are still up for grabs too. So, you might see a Texas Ranger team slide back into that wild card conversation and Houston jump up into the division talk. So I'm looking at that. I think it's going to be fun. The National League wild card race is going to be fun. I think the American League wild card race is going to be fun too.
It's funny you brought up the Yankees because the Yankees, I saw a stat earlier, and there's a bunch of can you believe it's again this week? What a great segment we get to have, part of our final segment every single week with can you believe it's. But this one right here is mind-boggling. Over the course of since 1998. The Yankees haven't lost 8 games in a row at any point in any season over the course of the last 25 years. Wow. They've lost 7 in a row effective Saturday. So it's like the number one team on that list, the Orioles, lost 8 in a row 30 times. The Phillies have only done it 8 times since 1998, which is incredible to think about. But I'll tell you what, partner, the American League wild card and not the American League West to me. Like the Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners. The Mariners have been probably the hottest team in baseball since the All-Star break. And they were my World Series pick this season as well. Yeah. So those 3 teams, that's going to be a lot of fun. The Rays were one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball, or the hottest team in Major League Baseball to start out the season in 2023. And they've really cooled off over the last couple months here. But they've lost their ace, Shane McClanahan, the Tommy John surgery, which puts him out to 2025. And then, obviously everybody knows about the Wander Franco situation that's going on with him, and he might never play in Major League Baseball again. But, man, how the mighty have fallen. I mean, they're 2 games behind the Orioles still, and they had a real firm grip on that number 1 wild card spot. But we've seen some funny thing happen over in Major League Baseball that can transpire over the final 7 weeks of the season. Losing your ace and losing your best player does not spell well for what championship aspirations or even playoff aspirations that the Rays have had with these teams that are trying to chase them down from behind.
Yeah. Little lesson here. Baseball is a long season, and you can have the month of all months and just be absolutely spectacular and run away from your division and all of that. And then the next thing you know, you have a month of all months on the negative side, and you are right back in the thick of things with everybody else. And that's what happened with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, and give Baltimore credit because they've continued to play consistent baseball. But that's what it takes to be one of the best teams in baseball. Consistency. It's not about running out and winning 10 in a row. It's about winning 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. That's how you do it. And the Rays, I mean, their start to the season was historic. It was one of the best. And here they are in a battle for a wild card spot. And they'll probably get a card spot. They'll probably be in the postseason, but who would have thought they were going to have to fight tooth and nail right up to the end of the year?
So the Atlanta Braves the other night won their 11,000th game all time, becoming the 5th team ever to do so. Okay, I don't know if you've seen the run sheet or you've seen the teams that are ahead of them. Do you know? Can you name the teams that are ahead of them, like off the top of your head?
All right, ask me that question again because you froze a little bit for a second there. So yeah.
All right. So there's 4 teams that have more wins over the course of Major League Baseball history than the Atlanta Braves. Can you name the 4?
Fortunately, you froze right there as you're asking the question. They're gonna have to. Right. They're gonna have to fix this. Go ahead.
Can you name the 4?
Still frozen right now.
I think. Is it me or is it him, Sam?
I look. All right, you're back.
All right, you look like you're back too.
Hold on, he's not back.
No, he's not.
Hold on.
Is it me, Sam?
No, it's him. Because I'm hearing you fine.
Are you hearing me fine?
Yes.
Now we are. Yeah.
Now I am. I wasn't before.
Okay. Yeah, I did just drop down to 3. Hold on. Do you want me to switch?
You switching Wi-Fi's?
I mean, I can't. I can try to put it on my phone.
I mean, you sound okay right now. Your picture is blurry, which makes me think that that's what makes him going in and out.
Sam, if you can just cut it right, we'll dive right back into the Braves thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for a number. So
yeah, so we'll just we'll chop that part and then we'll go back in and I'll I was going right into the Braves thing all over again.
All right.
We can hear you now and we can see you blinking.
Yeah, and your face is clear.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
Yeah, he does look good. You do look good now. Yeah.
All right. So hold on. Give me 1 second, guys, because I had to figure out the numbers now. 30.
We had about 3 minutes left in the.
Yeah, I think you were exactly that at 3 minutes. So that was at 3 minutes would have put you at 36. 36. You have. All right. All right. I'm bouncing out, and then when you start back up.
Okay.
So hold on a sec. I gotta remove myself. Stop. Watch, now I'm gonna have a problem. Here we go.
Okay, Murph. So the other night, the Braves won their 11,000th game all time. They became the 5th team ever to do so. Can you name the 4 teams that are ahead of them?
11,000 plus wind teams. All right, the New York Yankees.
No.
What?
No. I know. That's not the Yankees.
Wow.
The Yankees are right ahead of the Phillies. They are 8th, and we are 9th.
That's amazing. I'm shocked by that. Okay. So if not the Yankees, then shoot, I don't even know where to go next. How about are we talking about like the Dodgers? So, from Brooklyn
Dodgers,
and
yes.
LA. Okay.
Yeah, the Dodgers are
one.
second.
Okay. How about the Giants then?
Giants are number 1.
Okay. So Giants and the Dodgers, and then 2 more, huh? Could it be the Boston Red Sox?
No, the Red Sox are 10th. They're right behind the Phillies.
Okay. All right. My goodness.
Older franchises.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm naming here. The Cubs?
Cubs are 3, which is
Okay.
surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Very surprising to me.
I certainly
yeah.
thought the Yankees would have more wins than the Cubs. All right, so the Cubs, and then number 4 would be then the Cardinals.
There you go. Number 4, the Cardinals. And then right behind the Braves are the Reds, the Pirates, the Yankees, Phillies, and the Braves. Now, the Phillies are the all-time leaders in losses. So they're over 11,000.
Yeah.
Take a guess at who's right behind them as far as losses are concerned in Major League Baseball history. They're also going to cross 11,000 losses probably within the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, again, I'm going to have to go back to the Yankees.
No.
If they're not, okay, so gosh, how many games have they played? They've kind of played.
We don't have much time to play with here, but it's going to surprise you. The Braves. The Braves had the second most losses in Major League Baseball history. Crazy to think about. Just real quick, while we're on it too, Murph, Cardinals called up top prospect Mason Wynn on Friday night against the Mets. In his second at bat, he reached on an infield single to third for his first Major League hit. And Mets first baseman Pete Alonso threw the ball into the stands, and then the girl who caught it was resisting and giving it back to security, where the fans were chanting, "Give it back!" at her. Yeah. Man, what a situation. Apparently, Alonso apologized to him there, and then again at second base later on when he was on the base pass. And then today, he gave him a signed baseball bat and a bottle of 1942. Man, talk about someone that's trying to repair their image after such a moment of just complete, duh. I mean, you didn't know that the guy had his first Major League hit?
Well, okay. So there's a couple things there real quick. I'm not a huge Pete Alonso fan. I mean, he plays for the Mets. If he played for anyone else, I'd maybe like him a little bit more. But I'm not. I mean, but here's what I'll say. It was nothing more than a brain cramp, if anything. He certainly didn't do anything malicious.
Right, I agree with you.
And I don't think he needs to repair his image, like you just said. The person in this scenario that is obnoxious is the girl that caught the ball and refused to give it back. Like it means anything to her. Give her another baseball that costs $8. I mean, that's the obnoxious person in this story, not Pete Alonso. He made a mistake. It happens, and he felt terrible about it. And based on his actions after the fact, I'm sure he really felt badly. Yeah. To me, it's the girl in the stands that's the problem in all of this. That's what I would say.
All right, go to greenlegion.com to make sure you guys get your reservations in for another amazing Eagles season. Head to greenlegion.com to get signed up for Tampa, LA, Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle, and get signed up for day trip games for the Jets, the Giants, and the Commodes. Make sure you check out the Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club bus for those day trips as well. Also, get signed up for next baseball season when the Phillies go to London and the following weekend to Baltimore. And if you aren't married, or you are married but you don't have kids, or you're both scenarios, you can do both in the same package and get Baltimore in there for nothing additional, no additional cost on top of the London trip entirely. Quimby really pulled out all the stops for both of those trips. Go to greenlegion.com or call the office at 215-666-5940. That's 215-666-5940. 21 years and counting for the best Eagles road trips around. Coming up on the other side after break, we are going to talk about our picks for Sunday's baseball action. We're going to do Can You Believe It? And then we're going to talk about the week that is ahead for our Fight and Phils on Baseball Brunch here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We'll be right back after these messages.
Need an over-under.
I'm ready to make a stiff drink after this.
I'm ready to go to bed. Mariners.
Well, in case you're wondering, I'm going to have Dairy Queen.
There you go.
You're going to Dairy Queen?
I'm going to have it. My dad's going to get it for me, and I'm going to eat it.
Oh, like, damn. Talk about a Saturday night rager.
Well, I might still go out, but I'm going to have Dairy Queen first. Come on, they have churro. They have churro.
I know, but mixing dairy with alcohol is a very bad thing.
Nah.
Is it?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't know about you guys, but the next day is not fresh. It's not.
When people
it's not
say
friendly.
you want a cold one, I mean, to me, that's inexcusable.
I only ever eat Dairy Queen when I'm drunk.
Exactly.
Well, here in Maple Shade, we have the custard stand, baby. We don't need Dairy Queen.
Okay, well, there you go. Go ahead. I'm gonna pull up.
Oh, good.
Can you believe it? I'm ready. I'm good.
Yeah, can you believe it? You good?
I will.
Okay. Welcome back. Final segment here on Sunday morning, 11 to noon. You can catch us every single Sunday from 11 to noon on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler and the iHeartRadio app. This is Baseball Brunch brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. I'm Chris Sack. He's Greg Murphy. And we are going to have a great last segment here for you that's brought to you by our friends at the Ludlam Hotel in Sea Isle City. Yes, the fully renovated Ludlam Hotel at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Yes, it is the old La Costa with the complete renovation finish. You will now see a brand new look, feel, and vibe set amongst a casually sophisticated bar, a cozy a la carte dining room, and the only mellow lounge in Townsend's Inlet. The menu is seasonal, offering the freshest local seafood, cooked simple to ensure the flavor that already exists stays that way. The hotel is open year-round, and all guests enjoy free Wi-Fi, one free parking spot per room, and complimentary beach tags for all registered adults. Walking distance to everything. Check out LudlamHotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829. For all your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions, the Ludlam Hotel, your new oasis in Sea Isle City. All right, so let's dive into our picks for Sunday's action. And we've taken a little bit of a hit on our picks for today because the West Coast games out in California had to move from Sunday to Saturday because for some unknown reason, there's a hurricane that's blowing through California, and they don't know what the heck to do with it. So they moved every Sunday game up. There was 18 games on the slate today. That's a fully loaded schedule on Saturday, Murph.
Yeah, it certainly was. When I was doing the out-of-town scoreboard, I'm like, my goodness, how many games do we have today? And I had forgotten the reason why. But, yeah, a couple of doubleheaders today because of that. Fingers crossed that everybody makes that okay out there on the West Coast. They're not used to hurricanes out there. To your point, they don't know exactly how to handle things. But, hopefully it stays out to sea as best it can and there's minimal damage. So, but yeah, so a limited schedule for us to pick from in Sunday's games.
I think we'll do quite well. I mean, I can't do any worse than I did last week. Yeah, well, first we'll start with you, as we always do. We always go age and beauty before me. So you went 1-2 again last week. I think this is like your fourth or fifth week in a row. I haven't updated it. It's just been 1-2 again last week. You got the Brewers winning as the favorite, but as you alluded to at the beginning of the show, or I think it was right before maybe we hit the live button here on StreamYard, you were very close where you should have 3 points. And the funny thing is I wasn't even paying attention to it. I was swimming at my parents' house last Sunday, and from time to time I get these like really aggravated text messages from Murph, because you're into this. You're very competitive about it. And
I'm competitive. That's accurate.
Yes.
I wouldn't say I'm into it, but if I'm going to be doing something that there's a winner and a loser, I want to be the winner. That's for sure.
Well, I get a text message from Murph that says, "This is why I don't gamble."
Yep.
And I had to look it up real quick, and I saw that the Oakland A's, which you picked as your underdog last week in Washington against the Nationals, They gave up 6 runs to the Nationals in the bottom of the ninth to lose that game 8-7. So that puts you at 24-27 overall, 31.5 points on the season. Again, I went 0-3 last week for the first time this season, although I have danced with the devil a couple different times to where it almost happened. I'm now 28-20 with actually, no, I think I'm 28-23. Is that what it is? Yeah, 28-23 with 35 points. Yeah, it's got to be 51. So 28-23.
and a half, and you have 35 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 35 points. So right now you're trying to run me down. So here we go. 7 weeks left in the season. And Murph, start me off. Give me your first pick for Sunday's action.
Okay. After careful consideration and deep research into all the games tomorrow. Yep. That's Mike's story, and I'm sticking to it. This is about as close to low-hanging fruit that you could possibly have from like last year's mix. Baltimore minus 198 over the A's. I'm taking Baltimore as my favorite over the Oakland A's. If the Oakland A's, if they get me again 2 weeks in a row, shame on me. So, I'll take Baltimore just under the threshold at 198.
Keep in mind, people, we are making these picks on Saturday night. So I am also going after low-hanging fruit, but my low-hanging fruit is the Rangers at minus 198.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, at home versus the Brewers. Max Scherzer starts for them. They're trying to avoid the sweep against the Brewers. Scherzer is 3-0 with a 1.8 ERA since joining the Rangers. Hauser's middling, 4-4 with a 4.43 ERA. Texas is a really good team. They've got 2 teams trying to run them down in the American League West. I don't see them losing to the Milwaukee Brewers at home and being swept. So that is my favorite pick. Give me your underdog for Sunday's action.
Okay, underdog. It's the Pirates and the Twins in Minnesota, and the Twins are the favorite. Pirates are plus 124 underdogs. Dallas Keuchel is pitching for Minnesota. I saw all I needed to see of Dallas Keuchel when the Phillies were up there. He's got nothing left. Nothing. So the Pirates, they're a team that can swing the bats a little bit. They run all over the place. So I'm taking the Pirates over the Twins to beat up on Keuchel tomorrow, plus 124.
You and I are on the same page, and this is what happens when we don't compare ahead of time. I thought the same exact thing. Dallas Keuchel's had 2 starts back in the major leagues, and he has 0 strikeouts. And then, you look at the other side. I mean, like I said, the Pirates can swing the bats. They can swing the bat a little bit there. I like the Pirates too. I have them at plus 130, but it doesn't matter. There's still plus, money for either of us. So me and you both have the Pirates. Let's see if we have the same over under.
Okay. Over under.
I highly doubt it though.
Yeah. I went to the Mariners Astros game. The number is, tell me seriously, okay. So I went, over 9 is I'm taking the over. Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Well, that's no fun. All right, so here's what we're gonna do.
This is what happens when we have to record. So
here's what we're gonna do though. Offline, we're going to send each other 2 new picks. All right, and those are going to be the ones that count towards our contest, and the folks will just have to hear about them next week.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
All right, not a problem. All right, so. We'll both. So do we want to pick one different, or do we want to?
That's what we'll do, and it's your choice because the last time this happened, you gave me the choice.
Absolutely,
so it'll be your choice to keep one of those, and then we'll do one more.
Sounds great. I'll dive really deep into it, and then I'll shoot you a text right after the show, and then we'll share it on the air next week.
Got it.
All right, Murph, listen, we don't have a sounder. We're recording. So, I would love to hear Harry right now, but we can't. So, can you believe it? 2 things we found interesting from this past week in Major League Baseball. Give me your first one.
All right, Jose Altuve. I think we forget what a great player Jose Altuve is and has been for the course of his career.
Trash cans.
What's that?
Trash cans.
Well, he's a great player.
I know.
And deservedly so. He's a Hall of Fame caliber player, and he had another milestone this year. How about this? Fastest players to 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, and 200 stolen bases. Just those numbers in general are pretty spectacular. But he is the fastest in Major League Baseball history. Did it in 1,631 games. Willie Mays came in second on that list. Alex Rodriguez, Veda Pinson, and Ryan Sandberg is your top 5 of guys that have 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, 200 stolen bases.
I like it. Now, listen, you might have to help me out with this name, but I'm guessing it's Shanuel, the Nolan Shanuel, the guy that made his major league debut last night for the Angels.
Sounds good to me.
First baseman. There you go. All right. So last night in the 9th inning, he is the first player to be part of turning a triple play in his major league debut since our old pal Sal Fasano on April 3rd, 1996, courtesy of Sarah Langs.
All right. Yeah. Good old Sal Fasano. We see him from time to time.
Full
All right,
Manchu, baby. Full Manchu.
That's right. Also from Sarah Langs, give credit where credit is due. This on Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners, the youngest player since 1901 with 3 straight 4-hit games. 3 straight 4-hit games. He's the first Mariner with 3 straight 4-hit games in their history, and 1 game shy of tying Milt Stock in 1924 at 4 for most consecutive 4-hit games since 1901. So we'll see if he can do that on Sunday. But that's impressive. Are you kidding? 12 hits in 3 days?
Speaking of the J-Rod show, okay, he became just the second player in American or National League history to have 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in each of his first 2 seasons. You had this one a couple weeks ago. His opponent, in which he did it against, was the only other player to ever do it, Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool. Nobody had ever done it. And then a span of like a week or two, now you have Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt Jr. So,
about that?
Murph, we have Sunday Night Baseball. Yes. Now, Sunday Night Baseball, we had the Phillies finish up their series against the Nationals. Huge beginning the part of a 9-game homestand, huge 3-game set against the Giants, day off. And then we had the St. Louis Cardinals coming into town in the middle part of that 9-game homestand. Got to keep stacking, but man, I know, listen, we got to finish up on Sunday Night Baseball. We have to win this series against the Nationals, but that Giants series looms, and it looms large because it has a lot of ramifications for us. And hopefully, listen, I don't like doing it, but hopefully the Braves can help us out by winning a series against the Giants this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, chances of the Phillies catching the Braves is pretty slim. So if they can beat up on some of the teams that we're trying to catch, you can bet in a couple of weeks. Do we see it? We see Atlanta again, right?
We do twice.
Yeah,
I think we still have 7 games left. Yeah.
You can bet that the rest of those teams will be hoping that Atlanta can return the favor against the Phillies and give them an opportunity to close some ground. So, yeah, got to root for the Braves to beat the Giants. Got to root for the Phils, obviously, to beat the Nationals. And then turn your focus to the fighting Gabe Kaplers, as you like to call them. And, look, they're a team that beat the Phillies 3 straight in San Francisco. So the Phillies are going to need to sweep the series if they even want to be in the conversation for a tiebreaker for the wild card. Now, let's hope it doesn't come to that, but certainly it's nice to have in your back pocket. So, yeah, they've got to play well. It's a big series. There's no doubt about it. It's a big series. I hope the Phils will play well. I anticipate that they will, and it should be good. But first things first, go out and beat the Nats on Sunday Night Baseball.
Partner, appreciate you making this work, and for us to be able to do this with recording on Saturday night for the Sunday show. Hope you all enjoyed it as always. For Greg Murphy, for Super Sam Brady for helping us out with our StreamYard on Saturday evening, and for John Jansen cutting this up and making sure that it gets into the system for Sunday from 11 to noon. I'm Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio on like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard. We are out of here. Phillies, big week. Make it fun, but load up the W's.
All right.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. What's that?
That's hysterical that we went back-to-back same pick.
Listen, I kind of figured we would on the underdogs, but like over under, there's like doubling. I mean, so you could take the under.
Which are you keeping? You keeping the underdog?
I'm keeping the dog. Yeah.
I figured you would. That's